special fall episode of Gotta Have Heart Wrestling, featuring your foods, no homies. And today's episode, we're going to talk about a little bit about the career of Daniel Bryan so far in the WWE from 2010 to 2020. Also, we're going to make some bold predictions about the Royal Rumble that's going to happen this Sunday on Ready Network at 7 p.m. Sport Pacific from the Syracuse, Florida at the Thunderdome 2.0. I still call it 2.0 since they are in a different venue now, or baseball stadium in this case. And we're going to talk about what's going on around the world. You know, anything that's happened so far in 2021, any of the good stuff, you know. It could be literally about anything. And that's right, I brought back my very special guest. She is my fiance, the one, the only, the beautiful Cindy Nicolai here. How you doing today?
I'm good.
That's good. And, you know, it's been a pretty okay start so far. I mean, that's why we had a pretty good New Year's. We gotten that $600 stimulus check. And now, apparently, Biden wants to up it, giving us a third stimulus check of $1,400. And, you know, it's pretty good so far, you know? Looking pretty good for your point from so far. I've had a couple of stimulus checks, but not too big as close to what happened last year. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy though. I mean, how would you say 2021 is pretty good so far?
I don't know. I stay off the news because everybody decided to storm the Capitol. That was the first great event of 2021. And everybody decided to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, that was definitely really unpleasant. And, you know, sadly, it went to unpredictable events to it. And thank God, hopefully, you know, sometime in the future that situation will be resolved. Now that, you know, Joe Biden is officially the president of the United States as of December 3rd today. But so far, his administration has been pretty good, though. I think he's doing really good things, and hopefully, he can be one of those presidents that we can be proud of and look back and say he's done things to take the country as far as the United States goes. And yeah, it's been pretty crazy. This I did not notice though, but things happened to the Tanya Roberts passed on January 4th. I just found out about that now. I'm about like 20 days late. But you know, Tanya Roberts, her famous role playing the mother of some famous celebrity on that 70s show, and she was pretty funny though. You know, unfortunately, back in the late 80s, early 90s, but definitely a very gorgeous woman, and it's pretty, you know, kind of sad that she passed away. And another famous person that passed away very soon, celebrity and legendary TV host for the past 30, 40 years, and makes it pretty surreal that these actors and celebrities are passing away, and so, that's ours, so that's just one off, so, yeah. You never know what you're gonna hear on any episode of Gotta Have Heart Wrestling. It's just one of those random moments, but you know. So yeah,
She wanted to be part of the conversation.
certainly she did. All right, what would you say your form of entertainment is nowadays, since things are still on hold as far as the world goes?
Um, a lot of TikTok and YouTube.
That's right, people. She's a big fan of TikTok. I'm not gonna deny that. Every day she, well, I can't say big fan. I would say gigantic fan of TikTok.
It is my way of not being stressed. It is my way to just sit back and relax and just take a moment before I have to start doing other stuff.
That is indeed. But I can't blame her. TikTok is pretty funny. At first, I didn't really find it so amusing. But, you know, the way that, you know, I guess I look at it from a certain standpoint is that maybe it's a good way to, you know, at least advertise some things as far as, like, if you have, like, a show or a podcast that you want to advertise or get out there to the world, and, you know, I guess people have referred to TikTok as a place to start and a place to get that certain brand out there. So, you know, for me, I'm still trying to get used to the whole TikTok thing, but I'm catching up, you know, I'm trying to get used to it, but
It's
anyway.
funny, okay? It's funny. I can't relate to 90% of it.
Um, I think I can agree on that. I can definitely agree on that with you.
And I like
You
to
know?
dance, so.
Oh, yeah, she's a dancer, yeah. She loves to dance. Real does. All right. I mean, anything else going on about today? Let's see. We have these ridiculous snow wedges here in New England, so It's not been too bad, but I say that we're still in the midst of the whole winter, and yeah, it's very surreal here. It really is. Things are trying to go back to flow. There are certain curfews that are being uprighted here in the state of Rhode Island, at least. So not too bad, also. I'd say that's definitely a good thing. We're trying to get back on track with things around the world. You know, when people have more of their freedom, lesser restrictions, lesser curfews in this sort of way. So yeah, it's definitely it's kind of look on the bright side here as far as 2021 goes. I mean, we've had the trailer release of probably one of the biggest releases of the movie this year, King Kong vs. Godzilla. And I gotta say, I was amazed by how the whole trailer came about. It kind of makes it seem like Godzilla is the ultimate heel, and that King Kong is kind of like the hero, the babyface of some sort. And it's very surreal because I think there was one time ago, a long time ago, near 2004, where these two first clashed, and we're gonna actually see that rematch this year in 2021. It was sitting on an HBO Max. You can subscribe to HBO Max app. You can download it on your PlayStation, Xbox, Roku player, Samsung, Apple TV. So it's not too bad though. I'm actually excited to see that movie when it comes out. So and get this, if you have your favorite childhood from let's see, the new millennium, the 2000 and so forth. If you remember the show that came on Cartoon Network, Tom and Jerry, you're gonna wanna see the movie that's coming out. The remake of Tom and Jerry coming out February 27th or 26th, I presume. Again, in theaters and HBO Max app, and it's looking to be pretty funny though. So I'm excited to see that movie as well. You know. So I guess other things here are there, things that are interesting nowadays, or would you want to try something new in the year 2021? Any goals or that things you want to accomplish in general?
No, I'm just gonna see how it goes.
All right. I think I agree with on that too. We just see how things go, and hopefully things will be looking up as far as the spring and summertime goes. I'm pretty sure we're all gonna want to get out there and do some fun stuff. We're tired of sitting around in the house, going to work, school, all that, and just coming back and just doing indoor activities when we rather be doing outdoor activities. So, oh, if I want to, I could, yeah, build myself a slide and just slide down to a pool somewhere. That sounds like fun time in the movie. But yeah, hopefully things come around here. So yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But definitely that episode we're gonna talk about, Daniel Bryan's career. We just had a lovely career by the way, and that's it. Guy accomplished a lot, you know. And make some bold predictions. At least my predictions on the world matches for the men's and the women's this Sunday on the network. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this whole week is gonna be pretty intense here. We're just a few days away. It's gonna be pretty amazing. And we got the Super Bowl coming up here. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, Gronk representing Tampa Bay against Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, the highest paid quarterback right now, with his $1 million. Pretty sure he's going to want to secure his second straight Super Bowl championship victory. Sunday, February 7th. And it's crazy. Tampa Bay, first time ever, the team that's actually going to have Super Bowl in their own city. That's never happened before. Super Bowl is going to be amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So all you fans out there that are bidding high, because there's going to be a lot of high bets for this game this year. It's probably going to be one of the most anticipated Super Bowls that we have witnessed in a long time. It's going to be at the Raymond James Stadium, and I think there's going to be about several fans there. Not as many, but maybe several due to the whole COVID situation. But it's going to be really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm probably not a fan of either the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, but if I'm gonna make a prediction about it right now, I would probably say just because I still love Tom Brady, I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay all the way. Just because I don't want to see a repeat of last year's Super Bowl with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes winning the championship. So yeah, let's see how everything goes down. Keep fingers crossed. All right, now lovely talking. Anything you want to say before we close the segment?
Well, have a good night. I'm gonna come in after it airs. Or I don't want to. I don't have to.
That's right. At least I get to go night off, thank God. That's how everyone uses my Tuesdays, you know? Start my weekend. So, yeah. All right, we'll be back with this episode and listen to the sponsor segment from Anchor.fm.
All right, and welcome back to a special bonus episode. Well, not bonus, sorry. Ugh, I'm screwing up already, you know. Special full episode of Caught Off Hot Wrestling by your choice, Jamal Hunnins, and we heard from my lovely fiance, Cindy Nicolazzi. Talk about what's things going on around the world today and everything that's looking up so far in the year 2021. I gotta say, it's been a good start. You know, it's been a really, really good start. And those of you that don't know this, but I'm simply going to talk about this episode about the career of Daniel Bryan so far in the WWE, and it's got to admit though he's had a tremendous career. I mean, if you look back at it, he started it off with this special, NXT that first debuted in 2010. It's actually supposed to be a competition show, which turned to his own brand in 2014, thanks to Paul Levesque, Triple H, and so far, him being part of it, being the first one eliminated from that NXT competition show, which to me it didn't make any sense because as far as the indie scenes of any wrestler, he's probably by far the best at the time. Speaking from his career back at Ring of Honor, ROH, if you fans are familiar with Ring of Honor, his matches against Cesaro, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and so forth, definitely one of the best. But what people didn't notice though, if you go back to the Velocity episode of January 13th, 2003, I believe, he was in a match. It was actually a WWE trial match on WWE Velocity that I used to wear every Saturday nights. 1 hour shows on the SmackDown brand. He won 1-on-one with a very young and hungry John Cena. And if you guys don't notice, like the entire John Cena was sporting back in his first career in WWE. The whole yellow pinstripe pants and the famous wrestling shoes that he had on. Eh, I really didn't like that. It was a weird look for Cena at that time. But if you go back in that matchup, though, even though Cena did defeat Daniel Bryan, who actually he used his real name at the time, Daniel what's his name, Brian Danielson, and even though he did lose that matchup and Cena did win, he had showed us that like that match he had tremendous heart and respect for his opponents, and he was gonna be something big one day. But yeah, 2010 saw the first appearance of Daniel Bryan in WWE. Even though they eliminated from NXT at that time, debuting as part of the Nexus. If you guys remember the Nexus, that infamous group, they come WWE and just beat up anybody and trash the ring, destroy the outside barriers, everything. Any carnage, that time the Nexus, with their leader, Wade Barrett, who's now a commentary on NXT nowadays, they would wreak havoc everywhere they go. And it's pretty crazy that, you know, we would see this side of Daniel Bryan. Unfortunately, at that time, people didn't notice. The reason why Daniel Bryan did not appear after the first match of Nexus on June 7th, 2010, when they erupted the John Cena CM Punk match, he was fired by Mr. Man. Yeah, so that time Dan Bryan did not pay for those 2 months. He was legitimately fired from the company by Mr. Vince McMahon. I didn't understand why either, but I guess it had something to do with the aftermath of that segment. And I guess at the time, Vince McMahon did not like Dan Bryan personally. He didn't like his attitude at the time, and I couldn't understand why, you know. But the kick is when he came back at SummerSlam 2010 as part of Team WWE on Cena's team, facing the Nexus in that 7-on-7 elimination tag team match that main evented SummerSlam 2010 that year. They were eliminated two competitors. I think from that time, that's where I myself became a Dan Bryan fan. Then after that, he started a feud with The Miz, beat The Miz for the United States Championship at United Champions 2010, which I think is one of my favorite Miz Dan Bryan matches of all time. Which I think that time did spend this whole decade right between The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Those two hate each other. There's no doubt. Those two hate each other. I mean, look at their wives. The Miz married to Maurice, a former two-time Divas champion, and of course Daniel Bryan married to one of the Bella twins, Brie Bella, who's also a former women's champion in her right as well. So it's pretty amazing to see how both these guys have so good chemistry. It's like you got Daniel Bryan, the hero, and Miz, the ultimate villain, just clashing. I think it really made good chemistry between those two. You know, but yeah, so far from Daniel Bryan's career in the year 2011, I think by far, if you got to tell me what is Daniel Bryan's best year of his career, I would have to say 2011. Look at what he's done. He came in number two in the 2011 Royal Rumble match from Boston that year, January 31st, 2011. And even though he did last about maybe a little less than 10 minutes, but he did pretty good though. You gotta admit, he had this let's see, he had his thrilling with time being involved with the Bell twins. And you've got to admit though, if Daniel Bryan had not ended up with Brie Bella, would he have ended up with Nikki Bella? Would that we'll see a Daniel Bryan Nikki Bella storyline brewing that? That would be kind of weird now thinking back at it. But with the WWE, anything can happen. We've had that so many times before in this past 50 year existence. So, but yeah, it's pretty crazy though. You know, here's the thing though. I did not agree with this though. WWE has scheduled a match. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, WrestleMania 27 for the U.S. title. That match was supposedly supposed to be in the WrestleMania card. It didn't happen. When my actually my grandmother ordered the event for me that time as an early birthday present on April 3rd, 2011, it kind of sucked because I was waiting to see the Daniel Bryan Sheamus match, which I'm pretty sure that match was still the show. It ended up being a dark match. It didn't even make it to the pre-show. It ended up being a dark match, which wasn't shown on television. It was shown for the fans in attendance that night, and it kind of sucks because looking back, I'm like, why wouldn't I show a Daniel Bryan Sheamus match? Which Sheamus did win. Sheamus was the United States champion at the time before dropping off to Kofi Kingston at WWE Extreme Rules 2011. But the thing is, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, to me, they have so much good chemistry because those two can beat the shit out of each other and still keep going for another 10, 20, 30 minutes if they want to. So out of any rivalry, any opponent Daniel Bryan's faced, I gotta admit, like, Sheamus is probably one of his top five, like, best rivalries of all time. So, yeah. But that was not stop Daniel Bryan's momentum because the famous night, Chicago, July 17, 2011, he went into the SmackDown Money in the Bank Ladder match and won. you know. And if you actually watch that match, because I opened the event that time, Chicago, Money Bank 2011. If you watch that match, do you hear Michael Cole in the background commentary saying how Daniel Bryan is a B plus player, he's too small, he can't wrestle, he sucks, all of that, and Daniel Bryan ended up winning the match, and I'm pretty sure that really stuck into Michael Cole's face, his throat, having to eat those words back again. So yeah, I gotta admit, Dan Ryan was a perfect person to win Money in the Bank that night. I wanted him to win, and he won. And I think that moment was really propelled Dan Bryan to be like, yeah, you're gonna be our next star within the next coming months. So I was actually glad that they put that trust in him, and you know that was pretty much his launching pad right there to superstardom. You know, and move on to months along 2011, and who could we all forget? Table 11 Cheers 2011 from Baltimore at that time, and we had the chair match between Mark Henry and the Big Show for the World Championship. Big Show ends up winning. Finally, after 3 or 4 months feuding with Mark Henry for the world title, he ends up winning in a chairs match up here. Out of nowhere, Danny Bryan's music hits. Him running out to the ring with the referee, gets Mark Henry out the ring here, and just covers the Big Show 1, 2, 3. And now Danny Bryan is the new World Heavyweight Champion. You see, the first thing he did, he went to Michael Cole's face. He said, I did it, in your face." And like, that was pretty bad. I think that was actually all script right there. But Dan White has new look. He cut his hair, got the buzz cut, cashed in the bank, won the world championship from the Big Show of all people. I was like, damn, this is. I thought he was going to go in this direction. This is going to be pretty interesting to see Dan Bryan probably being one of the smallest world champions of all time because he is about 200, under 210 pounds, maybe 220, the most. So this is pretty interesting to go into year 2012 to see how Daniel Bryan's World Championship reign is going to portray out. And it's pretty amazing here. I mean, look what he did from that first title run. He went to Royal Rumble 2012 in St. Louis, Missouri. He went in a triple threat steel cage match to open the show. He defeated two of the biggest monsters at the time, Mark Henry and the Big Show. By luck, I think, because he did drop from the top of the cage to the floor, thanks to Big Show, which is unbelievable. And he went into let's see, the Elimination Chamber 2012 and defeated SmackDown top five superstars to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And even at the time, I really thought at the time that when it came down to him and Santino being the last two superstars in the Chamber match, that was unbelievable too. I really thought at the time, like, okay, let's go back to the year prior to what happened. Santana Marella beating the last two superstars, him and Del Rio in the 2011 Royal Rumble matchup. We thought Santino was going to pull out the biggest upset in Rumble history. Unfortunately, didn't win. A year later, and some change. Go to February 21st, 2012. Him and Daniel Bryan, the last two superstars in the champion matchup here. We thought, holy shit, is Cesaro going to win the world championship? Daniel Bryan. Close with no cigar. Daniel Bryan's at the winning, retaining the championship. So we know Daniel Bryan's going to go to WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida as a world champion. Sheamus, who had won the Royal Rumble in 2012, was going to choose to face Daniel Bryan for world championship. Okay, WWE is apparently going to make up for what they didn't do last year by pitting Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus on the card for WrestleMania 28. But this time for world championship, not for the U.S. championship, but for the world title. And, I was watching the pre-show that night, April 1st, 2012, because that show was headlined by The Rock and John Cena, first time ever. So they announced, okay, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus will be kicking off WrestleMania 28 for world title. This is the second time they did in WrestleMania history. The year prior, 27, they kicked off with Edge versus Del Rio, in which will be Edge's last match before he retired the next night on Raw. So, okay, finally you're gonna make up for it. This is, I think, kind of went downhill for Daniel Bryan, but not too much. We kicked off WrestleMania 28. The pyrotechnics, the spectacle outside, wherever. WrestleMania's outside WrestleMania 28. Cool. The thing is, you have Sheamus coming out first, Daniel Bryan with AJ Lee as his manager coming out second here, and of course AJ Lee being involved with Daniel Bryan in that love storyline. So okay, it's pretty cool. That moment where I think this is where the AJ Lee jinx came to play here because we saw that kiss from Daniel Bryan to AJ Lee at the beginning of the match. Bell rings. One bro kick from Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus is the new champion. I didn't get the logic because the match was literally 18 seconds. Sheamus beats Daniel Bryan for a championship in 18 seconds. I'm like, that's it? I was happy. I mean, Sheamus, was a good guy. Daniel Bryan was a heel at the time. So I was happy Sheamus won the world championship. But really, WWE, we're going to give us an 18-second one title match. One bro kick and 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan's lost championship. And I was like, okay. I think WWE really disappointed us again with this fucking shit. So I guess it's whatever. Sheamus, I guess this is an opportunity way to put this title on Sheamus, but everybody's gonna remember Wrestling 28 World Title match, literally 18 seconds. They should make a T-shirt that says 18 seconds. Might as well. That was pretty much disappointing. But the thing is, the yes chance started next night on Raw when John Cena cut off his loss from The Rock in Miami, Florida, WrestleMania. Before John Cena ran to the return of Brock Lesnar, who we haven't seen in the past 8 years, Brock Lesnar finally comes after WWE the night after WrestleMania 28, April 2nd. And instead of the fans just listening to Cena talks, the fans are actually chanting yes, 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 yes over and over again. That actually, I think throughout the whole night Monday Night Raw, they were chanting yes, 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 without even Dan Ryan being at that Monday Night Raw. So I'm thinking, wow, okay, Dan Ryan's got this influence over the crowd here. He was a SmackDown superstar. He wasn't a Raw superstar. And mind you, Dan Bryan was not the world champion anymore after losing 18 seconds to Sheamus. But it's pretty surreal here. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, what are they gonna do with this now? So of course, Dan Bryan gets a rematch against Sheamus in a 2 out of 3 falls match at Extreme Rules. He did lose. That was actually one of my favorite matches between Sheamus and Dan Bryan because those two went out for like about 35 minutes that night. So, which is pure wrestling. That was actually pretty cool right there. So I'm glad WWE made it up to us with that. So yeah, it's pretty surreal. So, we go into, Daniel Bryan losing the World Championship. Now he's entering the WWE Championship picture with CM Punk. This is kind of what I wanted to see this whole time because CM Punk was on a major role. CM Punk winning the WWE Championship this past Survivor Series in November. Now he's been champ for about 7 months now. Now he's going to feud with Daniel Bryan. This is where CM Punk really had to step it up and be like, okay, we're going to do this straight wrestling right now. Because you're gonna wrestle Daniel Bryan, you gotta pretty much give it your all here. Because Daniel Bryan will wear you out in more ways than one. So, we get to let's see, Over the Limit. I think it was May 22nd, 2012, I believe. So it was a pretty good event. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, Watching that match back and forth, those two tore the house down there. I think that was the best match of the night. I actually enjoyed it. And that controversy where CM Punk had the Anaconda Vice on Daniel Bryan, or I think no, I think Daniel Bryan had the yes lock on, or I guess no lock in this case on CM Punk, and I think at the same time he tapped out as soon as the referee counted to three because I think CM Punk's shoulders were pinned to the mat, and Daniel Bryan still had the hold locked in. Referee counted to three. He did not see CM Punk's hand tapped out. So thus declaring a draw, CM Punk still the champion. But I think the end of that night was like I think we really saw the best of Daniel Bryan that night. Him and CM Punk, they really tore the house down at over the limit. So yeah, the rivalry still continue on to Money in the Bank. Still good. Okay, this is where one of my favorite Daniel Bryan came into play. He would actually get into rivalry with King. This program storyline with King, which supposedly they won one on SummerSlam. He did beat King 1-on-1, pretty good victory in my book. And then the night after Raw, I think it was actually the Raw before SummerSlam 2012. They had to hug it out. And I'm like, what? Kane and then Ryan hugging it out. I didn't really get that at all. But I think this is where the comedy comes into play here because those two did team up at Night Champions in Boston, September 2012, and they beat Kofi and R-Truth won the tag team championships. I was like, holy shit, they actually won. Are they gonna be an official tag team? Like they gotta think of a name for this tag team, like Kane and Ryan. You got the beard and you got the monster. What can we do with these two guys? And whoever I gotta give credit where credit's due. Whoever came with that idea, it was actually pretty genius because it actually worked out in the long run. And you got that therapist, that bald headed therapist, Dr. Shelby, which I don't know where the hell he came from, what KC has in therapy, but he's the one that actually made these two actually work together. You like each other, they work together. They were actually tag team champs for about several months after that into 2013. And I gotta say, it was pretty genius. Even WrestleMania 29 in East Rutherford, New Jersey, they beat Dolph Ziggler and Big E. Big E, who actually had his very first WWE match at the time, coming off from NXT. Even though Big E and Dolph did lose that time, but yeah, Kane and Ryan still tag team champions. And totally lost the next night on Raw, and I think that's where no, that's not Raw. The next pay per view was Extreme Rules to the newly Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns that night, and but it was pretty surreal though. I kind of if I had to remember one thing about Daniel Bryan, I think that his time with Kane is part of yeah their name came with Team Hell No because you got the Hell part of Kane, you got the No part of Daniel Bryan, so Team Hell No is actually pretty creative. Whoever came with that. That's actually my favorite thing about Daniel Bryan in his career, and I gotta admit, as far as like tag teams go or strange bedfellows, those two definitely made it work. So I definitely enjoyed that. Up until Kane got rid of the mask and decided to become corporate king, thanks to Stephanie McMahon Helmsley in the fall of 2013. But 2013 would be a memorable year for Daniel Bryan also because we seen him get to evolve by himself. He had that All Star Money Bank Ladder match in 2013 involving with CM Punk, Christian, Rob Van Dam, who had made his return that night in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it's pretty crazy. Even though he didn't win the match, but next time Raw, WWE wanted to determine Cena's next challenger for the championship at SummerSlam. The one person that everybody wanted to see go out there to the WWE championship was Daniel Bryan. We're gonna finally get the match. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena, main event, SummerSlam 2013 in Los Angeles. It actually will be the last SummerSlam to be in LA at the Staples Center at that time before, oh no, second to last, before they entered Brooklyn in 2015. But I think that night we saw some magic. And I'm pretty sure Cena was going to lose that night just because that staph infection in his left elbow, which was heavily taped up that night, if you guys didn't notice. But at the same time, okay, I'm thinking in my head, like, it's going to go one of two ways. One, Dan Ryan can become WWE champion for the first time in his career and really take this ball and roll with it. There's no shenanigans like his world title run in 2011, 2012. Or they could screw Daniel Bryan and since he already thought he was just a B plus player from Stephanie McMahon and Mr. McMahon at the time, And thank God for Triple H really trying to play neutral and trying to be fair because Triple H was the referee for that match that night too. So, and it was a good match. About 25, 30 minutes, those two went back and forth, and Dan Ryan hit the yes kick, and you know we won the WWE Championship from John Cena. We didn't see Cena for a while after that. I had to get rehab that elbow staph infection. So yeah, Dan Triple H is just the referee that night, raising Dan Bryan's hand. Dan Bryan becomes the WWE champion. Huge celebration, confetti in the air, and then we had Randy Orton. Randy Orton, who had won Money in the Bank in July in that All Star Money in the Bank ladder match. Okay, oh shit. Randy's gonna ruin him, Ryan's dreams. He's gonna catch him big. Oh no. Because Randy had not wrestled that night. Randy was fresh. He was really fresh. Dan Ryan, who won about 30 minutes with Cena. And all of a sudden, we had Triple H turns him around and pedigrees him. I'm like, what the fuck? That was the turning point. That actually shocked me. I'm like, no, Triple H, why? Like, it was pretty crazy. And then Randy comes to the ring. Triple H says, ring the bell. Dan Bryan gets his shoulders covered. One, two, three. Randy Orton is now your WWE champion. So the championship literally went from Cena to Bryan to Orton in one night at that SummerSlam. And it sucked. I'm like, oh, you just literally screwed Dan Bryan again. Like, what the hell is going on? Why can't Dan Bryan have a fair title run? Like, it seemed like Dan Bryan was really getting screwed left and right these first couple of years in the WWE. And, like, I didn't get it. Was WWE really trying to plan for something bigger in the future? Randy Orton, who's now probably, I think, was a 9-time champion at the point, 10-time world champion. Thanks to Triple H, thanks to the authority. So I'm like, oh, man. But then we got Night Champions in Boston at the Boston Garden, well, TD Garden, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And they do Dan Bryan's Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. It was pretty cool because Dan Bryan actually beat Randy Orton. But here's the kick: if you go back to that matchup on WWE Network, Night Champions 2013, referee Scott Armstrong, who was the father of well-renowned superstar, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, had probably the quickest 3 count ever I've seen in WWE. I really thought, I'm thinking, okay, there's some controversy here, but he kind of ran the show some out, and he awarded Dan Bryan the WWE champion. I'm like, okay, let's cross our fingers to see what happens next night on Raw. Evidently, it did. Triple H had told the world what happened the night before Night Champions. So he strips anybody the WWE Championship, holds it up. Instead of rewarding it to Randy Orton, they would make a match at, I think, the inaugural WWE Battlegrounds pay-per-view event, October the 6th, 2013. So it goes to the match. And brings in the Big Show, which I really know what the Big Show's involvement here. I didn't get fired by Stephanie Man the week before that event, I guess. So Big Show want to send a statement. It's whatever. With no winner and the event. So they make a match. Hell in a Cell at the 2013 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view event. Dan Bryan versus Randy Orton inside the cell with Shawn Michaels as referee. Okay, let's rewind this here. Everybody knows whenever Shawn Michaels referees a match, some fucking shit happens to make it seem like Shawn Michaels is the bad guy. We've been through this before. When has there not been a match where Shawn Michaels refereed and there's not been controversy? That literally happens every time. Let's go back to SummerSlam 97. Let's go back to Judgment Day 2000. Let's go back to New Year's Revolution 2005. Shawn Michaels refereed all those important matches, and some shenanigans happened where we literally had a new champion every time. So, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to route again. Cool. So, kind of sucks because Daniel Bryan's issue with authority caused Shawn Michaels to super kick him, and Randy was the WWE Championship again. So, kind of sucks here. So now the go to the program where Dan Bryan has to deal with the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family was very hot coming in 2013, especially with that Inferno match at SummerSlam where Bray Wyatt beat King. Okay, so now we're talking Dan Bryan. So we go to Survivor Series in Boston, and we have the match. Sorry, Night Champions actually wasn't in Boston. Survivor Series was. So we go to Daniel Bryan team up with former WWE champion CM Punk, who had returned that year also, to go against Luke Harper and Roman Reigns. And for those of you who don't know, Luke Harper did pass away in December. God rest his soul, one of the best to ever step in the ring into the millennium. So yeah, they're going with 2/3 of the Wyatt family here. They beat them 1, 2, 3. Best in the beer connection, I guess, if you want to call it like that. So it was a pretty good tag team match. And months leading into it, at TLC, that's handicap match, Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatt family. Daniel Bryan did lose, and it's not Raw. I guess he surrendered himself to join in the Wyatt family. And I'm like, damn, oh, this Daniel Bryan's ordered to be one of the members of the Wyatt family. Even though it would make the Wyatt family look strong as hell, because then they have Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and now, Bray Wyatt. So I'm thinking this is all gonna play out here. But when we get to Monday Night Raw in Providence, Rhode Island, the city I live in now, Providence, at the Dunkin' Center, we see Daniel Bryan turn on Bray Wyatt. And it's all a ruse. Daniel Bryan's not really with the Wyatt family. And that's what leads up to the match at the 2014 Royal Rumble, which is actually one of my favorite Daniel Bryan matches, because he went one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. And at the time, Bray Wyatt was hot. Daniel Bryan was hot, because people were expecting, okay, 2014 is really going to be the year of Daniel Bryan. Always be hope, to be. You still got about 25, 30-minute clash. And I'm telling you, if you go back and watch the 2014 War Rumble, other than the War Rumble match itself, watch Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Unbelievable matchup. Really one of the best opening pay-per-view matches you guys seen in a long time. So, you got a matchup here. Even though Bray Wyatt did win, you know, but I gotta admit, that match was really one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. From either competitor, so yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. Okay, maybe gonna make up to us by letting Dan Ryan compete in the War matchup. Boy, was I wrong from here to the fucking moon. Because at that point, I was thinking, okay, we didn't see Dan Bryan, but people chanting, yes, 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 as the numbers seem to come out and the superstars seem to come out one by one every 2 minutes. Number 30 is coming out. And who do we get? Rey fucking Mysterio. No, no, I love Rey Mysterio. But it's just like, I'd rather see Daniel Bryan. And I'm going to tell you this much. That event was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, January 26, 2014. You can believe, after that, after all 30 minutes come out, I think the fans did not give a shit. Even the return of Batista, number 28, the fans did not give a shit. Even Roman Reigns eliminated about almost half the entire thing. Breaking King's record, by the way, of 12 eliminations that night. But damn, this is crazy. The fans just booed everything that happened for so on. Batista won the Rumble by eliminating Roman Reigns, and the fans just went batshit crazy. They didn't like it at all. It was really disappointing. I was actually one of those fans. I was actually disappointed. No, but moving forward here, we gotta move on with things here. Unfortunately, CM Punk didn't walk out of the company next time Raw, because I think if not, then Raw should win it. Maybe CM Punk should have won it. That evidently would be CM Punk's last night ever with the company, as far as a in-ring competitor. So we'll move on here. Okay, Dan Bryan entered the Newlands Chamber matchup. Johnson and Cesaro and so forth. Randy Orton defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Cool. Uh, yeah. Miscommunication backfired. Wyatt family screwed Dan Bryan at the matchup, and it just sucks. Actually, not even Wyatt family, by Kane specifically. Randy Orton's still a champion. This is one of my favorite Raw moments. Dan Bryan, I think next time Raw, the couple weeks after the Chamber, he would occupy Raw by having all these fans involved from ringside coming with the Dan Bryan t-shirts, coming out of nowhere, holding up the show for a good half hour, and Lesnar Triple H stepping him out here, and led to a match that WrestleMania 30 was the first time ever. Finally, we will get to see Dan Bryan and Triple H one-on-one. And Dan Bryan said if he wins, he would be led into the main event match between Dave Batista and Randy Orton for the WWE World Championship in the last match of WrestleMania 30. And Triple H has said if he had won, because of the bickering that's going on between Batista and Orton, he would be involved in the matchup either way. So either way, if Dan Bryan and Triple H, one of the guys win at WrestleMania 30, we would see a triple threat matchup for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We go to WrestleMania 30, New Orleans Superdome, not Silverdome, Superdome, and we'll see this amazing matchup. It's pretty surreal, you know. And Dan Bryan did beat Triple H, even though Triple H had tore Dan Bryan's arm up really badly after the matchup. But we know that the triple threat match, WrestleMania 30, in the main event, Dan Bryan versus Randy Orton versus Batista for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Amazing main event here. Let me take a pause from this real quick, because every time I gotta bring up WrestleMania 30, I gotta bring up The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. I know I'm a little off topic here. I'm sorry, you guys, but I'm so sad that this happened. Brock Lesnar ended The Undertaker streak 21-1. Oh man, it's just so surreal, I can't believe it, but it happened. I was still angry about it. Jesus freaking Christ. I wish the streak didn't end, but it did. Unfortunately, you know that's why I hate Brock Lesnar. Before you guys listen, you know. But yeah, it sucks. But tremendously, we did get a good happy ending because that particular matchup is pretty cool. Randy Orton had Rick Derrick perform his entrance to the ring, teeth come out here, and then Daniel Bryan with I think his right shoulder arm taped up here, so left arm was only mobile at the time. Even though we saw I think it was the first time we saw the teeth bomb into the RKO of Daniel Bryan through the announce table, which is pretty sick. I actually never seen that before. That actually was like one of the badass moves that night. And then it just temporarily, it was just Batista and Orton 1-on-one until Brandon Bryan came out the stretcher and came out to ringside. We had Triple H Stephanie try to interfere. Damn, I think that both of them. Even the quick referee, Scott Armstrong, for Night Champions of the year before, Dan Ryan would take out Randy with a high knee and make Batista tap out to the yes lock. Finally, Dan Ryan would get his moment in the sun, having a Fetty coming out and being announced as the new WWE Heavyweight Champion. I think this is the opportunity. We're gonna really see Dan Bryan time be as the way it should be, magical. And you hear Michael in the background screaming "America on Bourbon Street," and it's very surreal. All the family coming out. I think some of the family members came out and really celebrated with him, and it's pretty cool. You see the kid from the Connor the Cure, Connor, and God bless his soul. He's up ahead right now. So that's pretty amazing. That moment was so special. Not only did Ryan, but as a fan to witness something really good happen that we haven't seen a really good moment like that happen in WrestleMania for like years. I think the last time we saw a magical moment like that happen, I think probably let me think about it. Let me go back and see. I think probably WrestleMania 20. To be honest, I think the last time we saw a magical moment like that happen was WrestleMania 20 when Chris Benoit won the World Heavyweight Championship. From Triple H to Shawn Michaels. So it's pretty surreal. And that same type of matchup, a triple threat. So it's very surreal. So we now go to the Extreme Rules here. Dan Bryan challenging the return of the Masked King, not Corporate King, but Masked King for his matchup. Even though Dan Bryan did win that matchup, it's pretty surreal though. The next time Raw, Dan Bryan get injured by three tombstones from the Demon King. In a payback, 2014, calling Dan Bryan to give the World Championship so that his wife Brie would not quit the WWE. Even though she did quit, and Saturday that was the last time. Other than his appearance on the main Money in the Bank 2014 pre-show that we saw Dan Bryan. But not, other highlights, I really want to cover that because I think those are the important moments of his career, 2010 to 2014. 2015 to so on would be like some of his greatest highlights, like him winning the Intercontinental Championship, third one, the ladder match here, having to give up 2016, having to announce retirement on that episode of Raw. I think as far as Edge retirement goes, I think Daniel Bryan Edge's retirement announcement on those Monday Night Raws had to be so surreal. It just came out of nowhere. And we see Dan Bryan coming as the managerial role in 2016 as he part of the new era of the SmackDown Live that would air on Tuesday nights at the time. And it wasn't too bad though, because he did pretty good in 2017 also, and so forth in 2018. And until that 2018, in March of 2018, when he announced that he got cleared by the doctors and now he can return to the ring, he's healing with Shane and defeats Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 34 in that same building that he won the WWE World Championship from Batista and Orton. So that was also a magical moment to see that as well. Later on that year, feuds with The Miz, not so good in his career. He turns heel, defeating AJ Styles on SmackDown before the 2018 Survivor Series to win the WWE Championship. Has this really amazing match with Brock Lesnar at 2018 Survivor Series and moves on there, feuds with AJ Styles some more, and then has this amazing match with Kofi Kingston at 35, which he lost the championship to Kofi Kingston. And actually, equivalent to Dan Bryan winning that championship, I think Kofi Kingston winning the day championship at 35 was also a magical moment because it was like that's something the fans wanted that the fans actually got at WrestleMania was Kofi beating Dan Bryan for the WWE championship. They healed Dan Bryan, with that Planet Championship belt. I gotta admit though, I love Daniel Bryan, but I think, in my opinion, that's gotta be one of the worst WWE championships I've seen. So I didn't like it too much. I really didn't. I I really hope they bring the championship back. To be honest, I hope Daniel Bryan doesn't bring that championship back. And then, you know, him going on with Eric Rowan throughout the months to come later that year, and then him turning back babyface here over the Roman whoever tries to get Roman Reigns controversy. And then so far, him feuding with the Fiend, who was a relatively newcomer, after the Fiend knocked off Finn Balor, and Finn Balor's last WWE match at the time at SummerSlam 2019. Now we have Dan Bryan feuding here. The Fiend was the champion for Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia on Halloween that year. So we go forth here, and I think that rivalry with the Fiend caused Dan Bryan cut his hair again, leading to the Royal Rumble 2020. Him and the Fiend strap match. Even though Dan Bryan didn't win, I think it was probably one of Dan Bryan's toughest fight matches in a long time. So yeah, tries to go back in the Intercontinental scene here with Sami Zayn. Has this good match with Sami Zayn in front of nobody. From WrestleMania 36, so wasn't too bad also. And let's just say he's been pretty good. I mean, far his best match last year was with AJ Styles. He went about 40 minutes with AJ Styles to crown a new Intercontinental Championship on the SmackDown episode in June. But yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. I think so far, had an amazing career. In 2021, I think we're gonna see the emergence of the main eventer, that awesome Dan Bryan that we haven't seen in years. So I'm actually, waiting to see. The Sunday the World coming up. This would be a good place to start if Dan Bryan can actually win the World match. Mind you, Dan Bryan did everything that he correct, but Dan Bryan's never won the World Rumble. Could we see the Yes Movement come back this year in 2021? We'll see this Sunday on WWE Network from the Thunderdome. And we'll be right back to talk about my predictions and picks for World Rumble this Sunday. And yeah, listen to this sponsor segment from Anchor.fm. All right, welcome back to the special episode of Gotta Have Heart Wrestling by yours truly, Jamal Holness. And so far, I've had my fiance on the show talk about things around the world. And I just did a probably on 40-minute segment on Samurai's career, so far in the WWE. But now I think we're going to resort to something that everybody wants to talk about. And it's going to be probably the only thing everybody's going to talk about this week and coming up this Sunday at 7 o'clock on the WWE Network from the WWE Thunderdome. We are going to talk about the 2021 Rumble event, the men's and women's World matches. First, my prediction here, and who's to say that we may see some magical things happen this Sunday? I mean, hell, I don't think anywhere was happened after 2010 that there's been some type of magical moment that usually happens around this time of year. I mean, it literally is the road to WrestleMania. I mean, it's going to be the 34th annual Rumble, and it's gonna be amazing. I feel in my mind, even though we're not gonna have those live fans attendance, but Rumble is a thing to remember. I mean, it really is. I can't wait. We got Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg. Who'd ever thought we'd see these two go 1-on-1 for the WWE Championship here? And then we got Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens and a last man standing for the Universal Championship. My prediction, I don't know who to predict to win this matchup here, but if I gotta go one, if my hands are really tied, I think I gotta go with the big man Roman Reigns here. I think Kevin's time that's just past and gone. Roman Reigns, I think, will reign supreme in this matchup here. As far as McIntyre versus Goldberg goes, I gotta go McIntyre also. I love Goldberg, don't get me wrong. One of the badass legends of the WWE or any wrestling business today. But McIntyre, I want him to win and World WrestleMania as the WWE Championship, just like he did when he won it last year. All right, we had a match added earlier today on WWE.com, and it's going to be Oscar and Charlotte defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And I'll keep in mind here, there's going to be some double duties for Flair, Jax, and Baszler, because they will also, three of those athletes will compete in the Women's World match this Sunday. So, Asuka, I'm pretty sure she's not going to defend the Raw Women's Championship unless there's going to be some last minute change made. Who knows, you know? But I'm predicting for Asuka and Charlotte to walk out still as the women's head championships. If maybe Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax get the upper hand and have something sneaky planned for this Rumble event, but we gotta see. We gotta see what happens here. All right, on break detention. So far, the one-on-one matchup. This will be the fourth annual one. We saw in the previous years of Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair, who won it last year, to advance against WrestleMania and become champions. All right. So far, we have about maybe 12 out of 30 entries confirmed for the Women's Royal matchup here. We got Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, SmackDown's Bianca Belair, Bailey, Monday Night Raw's Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Peyton Royce, Alexa Bliss, and Shayna Baszler. And we have SmackDown's Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Tamina. Now, I'd like to read the section. We have seen a really darker side of Alexa Bliss, along with this Fiend character. And Fiend we have not seen since he was lit on fire at Chelsea by Randy Orton. I'm still trying to get the image of his body burning and engulfed in flames. That was pretty surreal. But I think we're gonna really see this whole woman change once Elizabeth goes to the ring. No matter what number she comes out, but I think we're gonna see a really dark order here. It's gonna be really surreal. I can't wait. I'm actually excited to see it. If I had to pick out of anybody that's on the current roster or a past roster or maybe a surprise entry, I'll do two predictions here. One, I predict Ronda Rousey to come back and win this matchup here. I know it seems very far fetched, but she's been training lately. She even teased on Twitter recently that she might be even joking around and maybe competing for a match. Who knows? If Ronda Rousey's here, let the best woman on the planet be put on notice that she's coming for everybody, no matter who it is, and she's just gonna win the Rumble and advance to WrestleMania to get her championship back. You know. But if I had to pick a second superstar, I have to go with Bianca Belair. Mainly because after seeing the Chronicle, even before that, she's been such a role. Coming from NXT to Monday Night Raw last year after WrestleMania 36, being part with the Street Profits, her husband, Montez Ford, they make an amazing couple, by the way. They really do, And all of that shit, she's been pretty much on fire. I'm even the performance at the Survivor Series. She did lose, but still, she's one of the final people in that matchup. So I'm thinking this is gonna be Bianca Belair's time to shine. And remember last year, she looked amazing last year. Unbelievable performance. So I expect her to win this year and advance to WrestleMania. I think it's Bianca Belair's time. So yeah. All right, we also have the Mandalorian matchup here, and we have some big names confirmed here. We got 17 out of the 30 entries already confirmed here. Cause we got Daniel Bryan for SmackDown, Raw's Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, SmackDown's Otis, Raw's The Miz, SmackDown's Jey Uso and Cesaro, Raw's Jeff Hardy, SmackDown's Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Intercontinental Champion Big E. Monday Night Raw's John Morrison, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali, and get this, Edge will be a part of the 2021 Rumble match this Sunday. We have not seen Edge since Backlash of last year when he got injured by Randy Orton. Now he's all healed up. He made a vignette this past night Raw that he will be at the Royal Rumble definitely. And oh man, if you thought the return of Edge at last Royal Rumble, competing in a match and almost winning it was spectacular, I'm pretty sure this year he's gonna really turn it up a notch up here. I can't wait to see this. These are all amazing picks here so far. Hell, Biggie, oh man, what can I not say about Biggie? He's been on such a roll to the point where when he won the contest with Sami Zayn on the last SmackDown of 2020, and I think it's gonna be some big things this year for Big E. It's gonna be spectacular. It really is. Oh man. And then you got Mustafa Ali with Retribution, who might get the upper hand here. Sheamus, I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to go face his best friend for the chance for WrestleMania here. John Morrison and The Miz. And speaking of Morrison and The Miz, I'm pretty sure we might see Rumble moments spectacular from John Morrison. The Miz, however, Miz man that was hoodie. What if he really cashed in Money Bank? He's been hinting it right now. So ever since he got the briefcase back from his false cash in from Morrison at TLC in that TLC Line Chairs match up here. Miz got his briefcase back. He's hinting at cashing in Goldberg or McIntyre. Who knows what's going to happen here? Shinsuke Nakamura, who had this unbelievable gauntlet match a couple weeks ago, and supposedly I think he should have been the one challenger on for the Universal Championship at the event. I think we're seeing this old Shinsuke here. Something pretty cool here. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, who recently came to tag team champions here, and he's on a roll here. Sami Zayn, who just wants to stardom back here. Jeff Hardy, who wants to grab that last brass ring in his career and just show these fans that he is still that charismatic enigma here. Oh man, Cesaro, another amazing pick here. Nobody's gonna roll Cesaro this past couple weeks. Dean Daniel Bryan, and then knocking out things this past Friday on SmackDown. Cesaro could be very much of a dark horse on this match here. Jey Uso. You're wondering if Jey Uso can come out somehow win a world matchup here. What would this mean for the likes of his cousin Roman Reigns Universal Champion. Could he want to be challenged his own cousin for the Universal Championship? We gotta look forward to see this matchup to see what really happens in this match. And I'm actually surprised to see if he does want to, would he challenge his cousin for the Universal Championship? We gotta see what happens in this matchup. The Royal Rumble this Sunday. Otis, pretty good, not too bad up here. Getting trained by Chad Gable to get back in the best shape of his life. So Bobby Lashley, United States Champion. Feuding with Riddle here. Could he possibly do anything about winning a Raw match? First time ever, United States Champion winning a Raw match. That would be pretty good for the Lashley in his career. AJ Styles. With almost in his corner, how can you not pick AJ Styles for this Rumble matchup here? Man, it's been 5 years now on January 24th when he made his debut in WWE in the 2016 Raw matchup. That night, that Raw match was the WWE Championship. We got this cowboy Randy Orton. Randy Orton, man, even though he had that fireball destroy his face, burned his face 2 weeks ago by Alexa Bliss, came back, RKO'd Alexa Bliss on Monday Raw in the main event, cost us her shot at the Women's Championship against Asuka. We could very well see a darker side of Randy Orton this Sunday. I'm hitting enough. My prediction to win the Raw match this year is the one Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, I feel like this moment is going to come back. Daniel Bryan's been on a roll. Daniel Bryan can kill this momentum and just win on a matchup. And we're going to see that old Daniel. I really feel like my heart deep down inside, we're going to see that old Daniel Bryan come back this Sunday. I cannot wait to see it. Daniel Bryan is going to be on fire. He's going to pull out one of his amazing performances we have not seen in a long time. You're going to not want to miss one of this Sunday. Daniel Bryan is going to show out. He really is. Oh man, but Marvin Sunday is going to be really amazing. We got a performance by Bad Bunny performing the song Booker T in tribute to WWE legend Hall of Fame Booker T this Sunday. That's gonna be pretty exciting as well. You know, her Bad Bunny, he is a Hispanic R&B rapper, performer. It's gonna be a pretty cool performance. I'm actually looking forward to that, to be honest. All right, we'll come back with the conclusion to wrap up this show, and yeah, you know. So let's do this sponsor segment about Anchor.fm.